This is the long gray line. Here on this plain, through the past 150 years, have trod the men who have written into the history of our country its most glorious pages. In the picture, The Long Gray Line, Tyrone Power plays Marty Marr, who came to West Point as a young immigrant from Ireland at the turn of the century.
Hey, Corporal, another Mick waiter. All right, come along, Fatty. Martin's the name. Pick up your feet, Patty.
Do they have to wear iron braces to stand like that?
That's the way cadets stand. That's part of the discipline.
You know, you could shoot off all their noses with one bullet.
Listen, these men are being trained to be United States Army officers. Come here for discipline, that's what they get.
When Marty got over his bewilderment, he joined the Army.
Well, good day to you, Mary O'Donnell. I was beginning to think maybe you'd gone to hide under the bed for fear of the pleasure of my company. You know, it just occurred to me that these fine evenings with the moon all sort of lopsided and the crickets fiddling away, a young fellow and a girl could go up to old Fort Putnam, look at the river in the moonlight. That is, of course, if the girl could get her tongue back from the cat. They could pass the time, very enjoyable. Oh! Ow! Oh! Smash the bits! Betty! Get the bandage, my girl. Quick, before the kitchen's all over me blood. Hurry, girl, hurry. That's a ministering angel you are, God love you. What a practice you must have had with your own folks. This coming Saturday night is the enlisted men's dance. Music for jigs and reels and daytime for all. I'd be much obliged if you'd go with me, Mary O'Donnell. And if you've heard any stories about the last dance, don't believe a word of them. With you as my partner, I won't touch a drop. Not even ale. Good evening to you, Mary O'Donnell, woman of the house.
Not long ago, West Point celebrated its 150th birthday. Marty served there as an enlisted man for 50 of those years. He came to know and was part of the life of more cadets than any man in the Corps' history.
Omar Nelson Bradley.
Congratulations.
George Edward Stratemeyer.
Congratulations.
James Allward Van Fleet.
Congratulations.
Joseph Taggart McNerney.
Congratulations.
Dwight David Eisenhower.
Congratulations.
With the oath I will now administer, you will become members of the United States Corps of Cadets. These dedicated young men who are training for lives of service to their country are part of our national security.
Security has still another meaning for all Americans. If we are thrifty, our nation will thrive. Each of us will be happier and more secure. We must save for the future security of ourselves and of our children.
For me, Ty, that means putting my savings in United States savings bonds.
Good girl.
You know, no matter where you go in this big country of ours, millions of Americans in all walks of life are building up security nest eggs with savings bonds.
That's right, Betsy. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet my family in the picture. Maureen O'Hara, who plays my wife, Mary, who makes a Donegal stew and hot biscuits that have brought 2 generations of cadets to West Point. Miss Betsy Palmer and Mr. Bill Leslie, who became Mr. and Mrs. the day he went off to war in 1917. And Donald Crisp. Donald Crisp plays my father, Old Martin.
Thank you, Ty. Children.
Mr. Crisp?
Mr. Crisp? You know, Ty, I took some awful good advice when I signed my contract at this studio. This card authorizes the payroll department to put a certain amount of money aside for me every week for U.S. savings bonds. It took me all of 2 minutes to sign up with Uncle Sam through my own paycheck.
Bright boy. You know, in a chancy business like ours, it's a wise man who puts his name on the dotted line for regular savings bonds.
Makes a lot of good sense to me, Betsy.
Well, it makes good sense to anyone who works for a living.
You bet, Tyrone. I'm on payroll savings plan, too. It's the easiest way to save. The bonds pile up, your nest egg's growing all the time. They're safe. You can't lose with savings bonds.
I like the interest. Where else can you get $4 for every 3 in less than 10 years?
You know, there's something you just said, Ty, that really is worth emphasizing. Not only is buying United States savings bond good business, but it's good Americanism. And your purchase of United States savings bond is an interest in your country, the United States of America.
This is Ward Bond again. We've shown you West Point's long gray line. And I hope you'll think about joining me in this one, the red, white, and blue line. I'll see you, and thanks for joining us today.